What's up, Kenra Professional? I'm your brand ambassador, Lo Wheeler, and I'm here for another amazing blonding tutorial with my friend Kelly. She has beautiful color treated hair in a very active lifestyle, and our goal today is to give her a beautiful dimensional poppy hair color while addressing her regrowth. It's been quite a bit of time since our last appointment. In fact, years, but she's been able to see some other talented artists in the meantime. So we're looking at about 6 to 9 months or more of regrowth. So in our discussion, we want to maintain balance between her natural base color, so it creates an easy outgrowth, but we want to reset her and give her a beautiful money piece. And as I'm looking through her hair, I want to make sure that I'm cautious as I work underneath at her base. I was looking before we started filming at her bunny piece. I want to be able to bridge her color underneath here, but I don't want to compromise her hair further or add any breakage to these little pieces down here. It looks like over time, maybe even years of wearing her hair in a high bun, we've got a little bit of residual breakage in these pieces. So what we'll do is we'll approach her technique a little bit differently with this in mind. Here we're starting to paint on the left side of her hair, just above the ear. I love starting over the ear because it makes sense to me to work bottom to top, because once you lay the balayage down into each section, you don't want to interrupt it. So I'm working up section by section, taking subtle V's. This is going to build very soft dimension while keeping some of her base present in the end result. Before I get too carried away, I switch up and work through the other side as I build the color towards her money piece. And I always take diagonal sections here because it creates a lot of softness in the over direction, and it makes it easy to get the most coverage in the least amount of time. As I work towards the money piece, I blend the lightener from the middle of the hair to the regrowth and make sure that the saturation is nice and generous. Now that the hairline is done, I start to work just behind the ear in the interior. I don't overdo it here because, again, I'm just refreshing her color, and when you look at naturally dimensional hair, there's not a huge presence of lightness in where the shadow should be. So I try to keep that in mind. Less is more when you are painting. And as we work towards the top crown, I'm sure to keep enough of her natural base in there to make sure that she has a very organic, low maintenance look. Now we're looking at the bunny piece area. Just to reiterate, I'm just going to be sweeping the lightener up against the grain just to create a little pop of color there. It makes such a big difference when you sweep the hair up. I don't want to overdo it, so I'm very cautious of the hair I'm picking up. Again, over directing towards an upward stroke is just going to help that color to live where you're going to see it when the hair is up. Here I'm making sure that I'm standing just directly behind the section so that I get the angle that I want to get. Here I switched up my paintbrush to a larger size. This helps me work faster and get more coverage. That's important when you have clients with really, really long hair. You're going to want to make sure that you can move the product onto the surface of the hair very quickly and with a nice fluid motion.
If you have a heavy saturation, it's easy to blend it just by combing the product through. Now that I'm at the top of the crown, I am picking very minimal ribbons, 3 here to be exact, to just bridge the color and merge the tones together. Here's a look at the application as a whole. It's soft and not too much coverage.
Here is our beautiful results. This is just perfection. Here's the toning formula that we used. Of course, one of my favorites, 9PV, which is a pearl violet. I put 9PV all over this balayage and it does wonderful, magical things because the beige in it is made out of gold and violet notes, which means it's bright, but it's neutral. So that's my go-to for global glazes. And to bridge the color in her base, we used another favorite of mine for the shadow root, 5NA. This has a little green element in the underlining pigments that mimics really natural hair color. So it's one of my absolute favorites and it just softens. We did a last minute blur in the money piece area just to bridge her lightest pieces in connection to her base. Here's the bunny piece. We were able to take these little pieces and bridge them into her length. So when she wears her hair up, it looks seamless and intentional. We were able to really bridge the colors and make it look very cohesive and also keep it super low maintenance for her. Her processing was 45 minutes from the last placement and the last section. If you loved this tutorial, please subscribe to Kenra Professional's YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram at @low_Wheeler Davis.